So what is your full name?
Antoinette Grenier.
And where are you originally from?
Edmonton.
From Edmonton? What part of Edmonton?
I was born in the General Hospital on Jasper, the old General Hospital, the one on 100 Avenue, in 1919.
In 1919. And what neighborhoods have you lived in Edmonton?
Only two. Well, when I was a baby, my parents decided that they didn't no longer want to rent, and they no longer want to be in apartments. Because when they came to Canada, they were in an apartment here in Edmonton, you know. So they rented a duplex on 98th Street, 10643 98th Street. That's on the east side of 98. And I was there till when they purchased this house in 1925. It was because I was going to start school at age 6, you see. So they decided they wanted a house.
And that's the house we're standing in right now?
Yeah.
That they purchased that in 1925.
Yeah, but it was, I'm trying to find out when it was built.
I was just about to ask, do you know when it was built?
1907, I'm still fighting that.
It's a very old house at any rate.
Yeah.
And you've lived here since 1925 in the same house?
Yeah.
And
in the same neighborhood.
Same neighborhood in McCauley. What are some of the changes that you've seen take place over these last decades?
Well, particularly in the way of, there were a lot of small groceries then, you know, and there were walk-ups a lot, like the Hull Block and the other one near 111th Avenue, and the groceries, a lot of them have disappeared, and now it's big things like Lucky 97. And you know, there were little confectionaries that we could go to. That was different. And
was this Chinatown, like, for example?
No, it wasn't. It was a mix of English and a lot of French Canadians. And then it changed a bit when the Italians came along, the Ukrainians came along first. And then the Italians came along, you see.
That would explain.
They're the largest group right now in McCauley.
That would explain why there's a couple of Ukrainian organizations located just in this area too.
Yes, sure. There's one here.
Yeah.
And there used to be one on 96th Street where the Boyle McCauley Health Center is. And that was a hall. And my two little Ukrainian friends, that their father owned that block over there, the parents sent them there to Ukrainian lessons twice a week. In that, I don't know what the name of that hall is. I'm trying to get it, you know, from the Ukrainian people. Yeah.
Are your parents from Edmonton originally?
Oh, no.
Where were they from?
Well, Dad is from Quebec Province, a small little town, not far from Three Rivers, and Mother was from southern France, in the province of Béarn. It's just on the other side of Spain. You know, there's some mountains, except the Pyrenees, and she's just on that other side. And Dad was working in a hotel in Chicago. And the two of Mom's brothers were working in that same hotel. And they kept telling Mother, you know, there's no future in that little village there. You should come out here. This is the place, you see. So Mother said to her brothers, but I don't speak English. What will I do? They replied, well, you can be a nanny in a well-to-do family. So she came along, and in Chicago, and she expected naturally to marry an American. And the brothers said, you're not marrying an American. We've got a very good man here, and he'd make a good husband. That's it. And they were married in 1912, and he resigned from he was a bartender there. And they came and settled here because Dad had been orphaned at the age of 5. His father died at the age of 34. And his sister and him were orphaned, and it was their uncle who was in Alberta, in southern Alberta, and he had an influence on my father coming here, you see, and that's how they came here.
And after your father stopped tending bar, what line of work did he go into?
Well, he couldn't find work because he was pretty old. He was 20 years older than my mother, you see. He was 55 when I came along.
I see.
And, but he knew, there was a friend of him, his friend, Judge Dubuque, who was here in Edmonton. He gave Dad some work. And then, but that wasn't enough, you see, so then Dad stayed home, and we rented the top floor, and Mother went to work for the LaFleche brothers, the tailors. You probably heard about them. They just celebrated 100 years, and they folded up. She worked 33 years for the firm.
Do you have any brothers or sisters? No,
I was an
child.
only child.
And what was it like for you growing up in this neighborhood?
It was very nice, Paula, because the families, you know, that was it. We were the Depression people, and the families were very close to one another and helped one another. And like if one family had children and they needed clothes, and I was older, you know, and we looked after one another a lot. That's something that has changed a lot.